Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are here at the mill and we are milling some fresh board and batten siding for the solar kiln. So for those of you who are new, we've been building this solar kiln. It's a building that we're going to be putting all of our freshly cut green lumber in, and it uses the sun to dry that lumber out so that we can use it for inside the house. In the last episode, our neighbor Carl donated some poplar logs, and so today we're going to be milling those poplar logs and installing them as siding on the solar kiln. Before we get started on this log, I want to show you guys some of the progress that we've already gotten done. So we installed our laths around the solar kiln that we'll attach our siding to, and we also milled our first log and started putting up some of the siding. So I'm going to play a little bit of that, and then we're going to get back to this log. All right, so we're gonna get started on this poplar log now. And Dad, do you know how long this one is?
It's about 17 feet.
Okay.
And one of the problems that happens as they get longer, especially like this is the top of a tree, is they start narrowing down. And so the amount of the width of the wood that you can get out all the way down doesn't help. But on the sides of the solar kiln, we need a few boards to go on the side. So I think what we're gonna do is actually cut this down to 9-inch boards for our board and batten. We did 10 on the front, just to make sure we get enough out of this thing. And hopefully, if we have some of these left over, we actually might be able to start doing the fascia on the kiln. I'm sorry, on the shed, the fascia on the shed. So if we can, this would be actually great if we had a couple of boards left over that were full length, because we really need to do the two ends more than the sides so that we can keep the weather out on the shed. Right,
so this log is a bit smaller diameter, actually a lot smaller than the last one. So we think we'll get some more by doing those 9-inch boards. And by the way, sometimes if the taper is extreme enough, we might even cut the log in half in order to get a little bit more out of it.
So you can see, you know, by the time we cut into this thing, 9 is going to be a lot more practical than 10. We might get a couple of boards, like this pith board isn't very good. But again, we can't tell because this has some turns in it. So once we get all the way down, we'll make that decision. We'll cut this first one so it just exits at the top, then we'll flip it around, and by the time we do the fourth side, we'll figure out what we can. But I think 9 is the most practical in any dimension. If we did it this way, we might be able to get a stack of 10s.
I think it's a really cool thing that we can take a log like this, mill it, and then immediately use it as siding on a building. right, guys, this next log is huge. Help! Yeah, I think rolling it on the mill made it look bigger, especially compared to that last one. It was long, but this one's thick. All right, so you can see that this one flares out a little bit on this end. So we need to get rid of that part first. But other than that, pretty straight log. Not seeing any big branches or anything. So we should be able to get some nice boards out of it. We have it oriented this way so that we can get our stack of siding right in there. So we're gonna start cutting into that flare, get it all squared off and make our cant. All right, guys, so we got an incredible pile of poplar boards out. So now we're gonna take a break from milling and put up some of the siding. One of the great things about board and batten siding, traditionally, the reason board and batten is a thing, you put up all the boards next to each other while the lumber is still green, and then the lumber shrinks, and that's what the batten is for, to hide that small gap between each board. So we're doing this board and batten siding because we don't have to use kiln dried lumber, and I think it's gonna turn out looking great, just like our tool shed did. And also, like I mentioned, this is also a trial run for the siding we're gonna be doing on the house. So if anything goes wrong in this, it'll be a learning experience for us, and we can correct it for when we get to the house. So we're gonna start cutting down some of these boards now and get them installed on the kiln. All right, so we got our boards up on another side of the kiln, and it is looking really nice. Poplar is really clean. This one didn't have nearly as many knots as last time we were doing sidings. Also has that rough sawn texture, so I think this is gonna look really nice when we get our battens put up. But I think it's pretty cool that we were able to go from a log to siding in the same day. So as we've been putting up these boards, we have been paying attention to the direction of the grain. And in doing all these projects, we have learned a couple things about that. First, if there's ever a curved line on the end grain, just know that those curved lines are naturally gonna wanna straighten out. So that's an easy way to tell which way the board's gonna cup. And next, when we put the boards up against the house, we wanna face it in the way in which the outside of the tree is facing the house so that the edges of the board cup towards the house, and they are gonna cup, so make sure you get that right. But since the outside of the tree is always gonna go against the house, if you ever see any wane on the board, you know that that part is gonna go against the house and it's going to hide it, revealing the good part of the board. So yeah, it took me a while to make that connection, but yeah, if you always remember to put the bad side towards the house, then you'll be good. Wow, that siding looks beautiful. We are so happy with the way this is turning out, and we still have to put the battens on, so we'll do that next time. We are gonna wait for it to dry a little bit. This has also been surprisingly a lot easier than we expected, so it's definitely boosted our confidence for doing the main house, but it is just looking incredible. So we just have a couple more and we're gonna finish them up next time, but that's gonna be a wrap for this video. I wanna give a big thank you to everyone that has liked and subscribed. And also thank you so much to everyone that backs us over on Patreon. We really appreciate your support and we'll see you guys next time.